Fit for Life Radio is back at you with your hosts plural, Will and me, Gary. Is going to be coming at you today. We are going to drop some fun knowledge bomb. Quick one today again. Just kind of have one point for you guys to take in and marinate on.
I love a good marinade.
Good marinade.
You know,
marinades are tricky though. You know,
they are.
Some of them. You know, it's a lot of extra calories you're throwing in there. You gotta check the labels on the marinades.
That's why you got to go with like a just straight like vinegar based marinade.
Oh yeah.
You know, something simple, like some spices, a little white vinegar, and that's about it. Maybe a touch of oil, but yeah, a lot of them have sugar.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, like 6 grams.
Well,
for
the
every
sugar
tablespoon.
and also
oil.
Oil. Yep. Those hidden calories, man.
Mm-hmm.
Those sneaky calories. And speaking of which, we're going to the topic today that we want to hit y'all with is really the number one factor when it comes to fat loss comes down to the amount of food you eat.
Mm-mm.
All right, and this gets overlooked a ton because in a world where people they'll want to do, they'll want to eat apple cider vinegar every morning, apple cider vinegar diet
with some cayenne pepper and lemon juice
and keto bombs, and I'll cut out this complete thing and all these crazy extremes that people like want to do, but yet people are like unwilling to just keep tabs on their total food intake.
You know why? This is my theory. Here it is. Because like extremes are easier, right? It's either like yes or no, like on or off. You do this or you don't. Like keto, you don't eat any carbs, period, right? Pretty much.
Yep.
So that's like a very, very rigid rule. But when it comes to just like eating a pretty like moderate, we'll say balanced because you're getting all your macros in, dude, like that's freaking hard. And it's way easier to go to one end of the spectrum rather than staying in the middle for people. It's really uncomfortable and it's really difficult to do. And I think that's why a lot of people avoid it. Just because it's just straight up hard.
Yeah.
Not that it's complicated, but for people it's difficult, I think. And that's why we avoid it.
And it's not sexy, right? It almost seems
exactly.
like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well.
Oh, it's not enough.
Just eating a little bit less of what I'm already eating, that can't work.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But then what will happen is people will do an extreme, like cut out all my carbs. But say you cut out, all your carbs, and that's say normally 700 calories a day. But then you add in 2 fat bomb butter coffees that equal the same or more amount of calories. Like you're not going to lose weight.
Love a good butter coffee.
Love a good fat bomb.
Have you ever had like the bulletproof coffee? I've never put butter in my coffee before.
I mixed it up like once before, and it was
like, what
disgusting.
does it taste like? Yeah, okay, that's what I figure. Putting like butter and coffee together doesn't say. People talk about it like it's the greatest shit ever.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the best person to ask because
I guess yeah.
Because I don't like anything in my coffee because then it doesn't taste like coffee to me. It kind of like masks the coffee
I'm the same
taste.
way though. Like I really enjoy like just straight up the taste of coffee, and so I don't think I would like it either. I have put a little MCT oil in there just to see. And the MCT oil has a weird ass flavor if you get too much. It almost tastes like maybe like metallic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it. I put too much.
Yeah.
It's like really strong and overwhelming, and
then it gets all greasy. Like you see the grease.
Yeah, it's like an oil
bubbles.
slick on top. I feel like I gotta get some Dawn dish detergent to clean off some ducks. Yeah.
But ultimately, it comes down to like your total intake, creating somewhat of a deficit.
Yep.
Now the trick to it is you still need to eat certain things your body needs, like optimal protein amount, vitamins, minerals, things like that. So that's where like, eating healthy foods comes into play. So it's that balance. But even if you're eating a complete whole food diet, but you're consuming too many calories, which through our experience typically happens with like nuts and stuff. People just they'll go whole 30 whole food, but then just snack on like nuts and these calorie dense things all day, and then wonder why they're not, losing weight, losing body fat. So not that any of those foods are bad. Like there's tons of nutrients in them. There's tons of nutrients in pizza, But
Yeah.
pizza is very calorie dense, so it's harder to keep your intake in check.
Check
so it's
this
just
real quick. I'm gonna interrupt you
understanding.
because you said nuts. So like, we've never really gone into the specifics, but I want to talk about first off how easy it is to eat like 1 cup of almonds in a sitting, right? 1 cup, that's like a big handful, and I guarantee you anybody could easily munch that in one sitting, no problem, without even thinking about it. How many calories do you think is in a cup of almonds?
Probably like 700.
800. Do you know how many grams of fat? Are you ready for
Probably about 60.
72?
Ooh, that's
Bruh.
like
Like that's a whole day of fat for like
everybody.
everybody, like a large male. You know what I mean? Like that's so if you're like mindlessly snacking on almonds, how easy is it to eat 800 calories worth and 70 grams of fat?
Dude, that's half a day's worth of calories for most ladies
Yeah, exactly.
that are trying to lose weight.
And that's just munching on almonds. So
Yeah,
not that almonds are bad, but just be aware of like your mindless calories. Like even if it's a good food, like you can eat too much chicken breast. Well, that's hard to do, but like you can eat too much of stuff. Too much fruit. Like if you ate 15 bananas in a day, like that might be a little too much in the way of carbs. For someone trying to lose weight. So, nutrition or nutrient dense food is very important, but the amount is still just as important. Like if you go keto and you're not eating any carbs, but you're still eating like 3,000 calories, which means you'd basically be drinking oil all day, but I'm sure someone does that. Like you're still not going to lose weight. Point blank. So no matter like the intent and like the types of foods you're eating, you still have to be in a deficit in order to lose weight.
And the other thing you want to throw out the window is that battle of trying to even looking at your workouts at all as like a way to burn calories to offset what you eat. Like,
it's so negligent and like negligent.
Think about it. You could eat a handful of almonds, so like 200 calories in 4 seconds.
Yep.
And it takes you a 30-minute workout to burn 200 calories.
Exactly.
And
it's not even that cut and dry either. Like your body doesn't just work like it's not a furnace where like you bring this food in and then you burn it by doing exercise. Like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And there's way more stuff at play, and you're better off getting like your fat burning effect from just building muscle and then just like ramping that furnace temperature up all the time rather than, oh my God, like I ate like shit this weekend. I've really got to, work out hard on Monday. Like that's not going to undo the extra 3,000 calories you ate. There's no way. So, having that I guess that view that like you have to exercise your calories away is not a very good place to turn.
Yeah, you have to separate the two, And I think a good 2-step process is you say, okay, step 1, I'm going to establish physical activity in my life for all the benefits that it brings, which is you age better, your mental health, physical health, to not be weak, all those reasons, and then that's set in stone. Like that's why you do that, right?
Yep.
Then you get that habit down for all those reasons. Then step 2 is then, trial and error of getting your food intake lined up with your goals, and your goal body, kind of leanness or what you want to achieve. And we say goal body weight. Like I just had an email about that today. It's you're using a number as like kind of like a tool, but really we know like there's no exact body weight. Like if you want to be whatever weight, you don't really want to be that weight. You want to be look good in your bathing suit for your summer vacation. You want to move without pain and be able to get up and down off the ground with no problem. Like those are why you want to be a certain weight. So you want to focus on those. But the scale is still a tool. If you're 5'4", 200 pounds, like you need to lose pounds. Like the scale does have to go down, but that shouldn't be your number one like, why do you want to lose those pounds? Because you'll feel better and look better. So find those reasons. But yeah, it's literally those two simple steps, like exercise for every reason except to lose weight, and then focus on, the little journey and math problem of food intake, you know?
Because, like, point blank, exercise is, like, a really shitty way to lose fat. Like, I know people do it. People have done it. People run every day or exercise themselves to death and lose a lot of weight. But it's not the best way to do it. It's overly stressful to do it, just that way. When you're chasing that calorie number burned a day, like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would argue against that. I would argue and say, like people don't lose weight doing that. Like that, you go to every Globo gym in the country, and 95% of the people, are there for years and years, and
for sure,
their body doesn't change because that's the approach they're taking, right? Whereas the small percentage of population who tracks their calories is what, like, bodybuilders and fitness models, right? And those are the ones who get super lean. So, and not that you have to do it to that extreme, but there's proof in the pudding. Example. Like when they want to lose weight, they focus on their food intake. They don't change anything about their workout routine. You just keep doing it.
And then, like, if you look at our population at the gym, like, the people that get the best results, they focus on getting strong. They don't train every 6-7 days a week. So they just, like, get strong and they eat better.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that's all. I think they don't, exercise, every hour they can outside the gym, trying to keep burning calories and all this crazy stuff and beating themselves up. And like, they just lift weights to get stronger, and then they eat food to get leaner.
Yep. And the other side of the coin to this is that it is very simple as we talk about it. And it is almost that cut and dry, right? Like, if you eat the right amount of food intake, like, you'll lose weight, or you can gain weight. That's not the challenging part, is, like, knowing any more about what it takes. The challenging part that people underestimate is the emotional side of eating and all that, right? Like, we all know, but then it's, some people emotionally snack, or they emotionally eat, or they just have too much junk around. Their environment works against them. The mental side of it is really where you have to spend most of your time trying to figure it out.
And that's, again, like, dude, that's the hard part for people. Like, we're all extra distracted for probably a reason, and, like, it's something that people don't want to address. Like, it's easy to distract yourself with TV and Facebook and whatever else the internet holds for you. Like, it's easy to just fall into that, and then, like, you don't address stuff. So then it comes out in emotional eating or whatever it may be, drinking, who knows. So I think, distraction plays a part in that, and that's a whole nother topic. But, yeah, that just came to mind.
And ultimately, this is like a little tough love. In today's, like, food environment world, like, you turn on the TV, you see the commercials, you drive down the street, you see the Golden Arches, you go into work, there's donuts everywhere. And yet people will still avoid kind of, oh, well, I don't want to meal prep, or I don't want to really, like, keep an eye on my portions, using the hand guide system, or I don't want to track, or I don't want to log. But the bottom line is, if you just try to go out in today's world and just rely on just your intuition.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late. So having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out. If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's 1 scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
Like
And
you
your
will
willpower?
Yeah, you will overeat. Like it's gonna happen. So basically, by choosing not to put any work into it, of trying to have some kind of responsibility for your food intake, like you're gonna fail, right? Mm-hmm. So at some point, you have to, based on your personality type or whatever, like you have to pick some way to keep tab and to really dig in if you want to live lean.
Yeah, and I'll give 2 personality type differences on that. Like some people are real meticulous and they want to meal prep their whole week, and that helps keep them on track, and that's a great thing to do, right?
Type
then
A.
you have other people who are a little more relaxed, like still kind of like a planning thing, but they'll buy groceries, but then they have enough time, then they just plan out what they're gonna eat. Like they know what they're gonna eat for dinner. They don't cook it on Sunday, but they know all right, well, I'm having salmon on Tuesday. I bought it at the grocery store. So a little bit of a different way to approach it rather than planning prepping literally every food you're going to eat, but still another way to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. So instead of both of those people went grocery shopping, one of them prepped everything on Sunday, one of them just knows what they're going to fix through the week, but still 2 really good strategies, but just a little bit of a different take on it. So it doesn't have to be just prep, you have to prep every meal. Even just planning is a big help. If I got time to cook eggs every morning and I really enjoy it, you planned to cook your eggs every morning, and if that works for you, cool. But it's having some semblance of structure through your week, and usually paired with grocery shopping, before the week, and boom, you're good.
Yeah, and understanding that it's different approaches are okay, just because something worked for someone, for example, for me, I like to have less food variety because it's easier to eat similar things because then I know the intake and I don't have to track or do all that, right? Because I already know, okay, this amount works. So it's just I can be more consistent and keep tabs on things by eating almost the same stuff every day, right? But some people will, hit me up and be like, really? You really eat this? And I'm like, yes. But that's what works for me. You don't have to do that. If you want to eat a million different things, that's fine. Now you may have to maybe track more frequently, or log more frequently because you're, have different foods. But even then, over time, you'll learn. You'll start to be able to eyeball stuff better.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just understanding, you don't have to take. There's no one perfect way, It's finding what works for you. And I know people hear cliches like that, but it's at some point it's you have to take some responsibility for your food intake and finding the way that works for you to do that. And it's trial and error. It may take you a year, 2 years. Some people only takes them 1 week, So like we have our little template that we use at the gym, you know, and we do everything on a bell curve, right? Like you're always going to have people on one end of the spectrum and people on the other end, right? But in general, most people will like, oh, I can prep some food on the weekend and eat 3 meals a day. So our like kind of template is based off of that bell curve, right? And some people take that day one, week later, they're doing it. And they're like, you know, 1 month later, they're like, I've lost 8 pounds. This is so easy. I love this. Where some people, they're like, they got nowhere, you know? So maybe they need to log or track or keep a journal and report it every day, or maybe, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's trial and error to get to that point to find out what clicks for that one person, you know?
Yep. But you know what? Like I like the idea of like eating similar foods for the most part.
Oh, it's
At
an
least, like-
underlying theme of the leaner you get. I've noticed, and like most of the people I know that are, you know, a leaner body composition, the more common that is. You know?
But you know, like because it eliminates a lot of variation. You know, like the difference between eating chicken breast one day and having ribeye steak the next. Like those are two completely different foods.
That's huge. Because
Like
of the fat.
you would have to make them equal. You would have to like get your chicken breast and just like dump oil all over it. You know, and not that a ribeye is bad in the context of what you're eating or whatever, but like to compare those two foods, they're completely different. Even though you think like, oh, I'm eating 8 to 10 ounces of meat or whatever it may be, like they couldn't be more different in terms of like how many calories they have and things like that. So
Yeah.
having similar foods is so helpful. And then you kind of learn, you know, as you go, if you want a little more variety. Like I know I have, well, I don't know if I have maybe a little bit more than you. Like I eat, at this point we eat chicken breast, ground turkey, and I eat canned salmon. That's pretty much it. And usually with my chicken and my turkey, I've been adding a little avocado just to add up the fat a little bit. And it usually kind of balances out all three of those, you know, being, you know, a good source of protein and then having a little fat on top. You know, salmon's a little fattier. But that's all I eat. Like, that's pretty much it. And then maybe like a ribeye for, you know, a special occasion or whatever. But yeah, that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, same. I mean, I do eggs, lean ground beef, and salmon. You know, and I prefer, those are all kind of like moderately fatty protein sources. You know, and they taste better to me, and I enjoy them. Whereas if I wanted to do egg whites and chicken breast, then I would have to add in some kind of fat, you know, healthy fat. So then I would have to add, you know, maybe some almonds or cook use some oil or whatever. So, you know, and you know what, from the outside looking in, people don't realize that kind of, you know, keeping tabs on things like that, you know, but you do, you know, I do. So, but that takes time to learn, you know, to understand those things, understand portions and whatnot and what works for you. So I would never expect anyone to even care about that. And most people, hey, if you just want to lose some weight and feel better, look better, and don't have, you know, too extreme goals, like you'll never need to do any of that. Just kind of eat, you know, better portions and have a general idea. That's why we like the hand guide system. Like, but again, the more like your change you want to see, the more change you're going to have to make.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so like, you know, coaching people through that is kind of like, you know, when you get someone's like, hey, I want this now, this goal, and then you kind of like recommend X change, and then you get resistance from it. Well, it's like, hey, like the more change you want to make, like you're going to have to make more changes. So,
you gotta, really, like if we're talking like weight loss, the leaner you want to get, like you just have to start making more sacrifices, and it's okay to not want to make them, but that's just the reality of it. You know, you can't have 2 cheat meals a week and be, you know, 10% body fat. Well, for most people, at least get there. Like it's just, you just can't do it. So you know, you have to give things up. You can't go drinking every weekend if you want to be super lean, but you can still, you know, go out for a drink and keep a really relatively great body fat level. You're just not gonna hit super lean, hitting the bars all the time.
Yep. And so you know, understanding that, and ultimately, I think what happens a lot of times is people say you eat quote unquote a healthy meal, so you get like your grilled chicken salad, and then you feel really good about that, and then you're able to, but then on the weekend, say you go and you crush, you know, margaritas and pizza. you kind of put that to the back burner. But I had all these healthy meals. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter if your intake goes over, you know? Like if you had 42 salads that week, it doesn't matter. Like if the total food intake doesn't, went over. Like, so it's understanding, like there is no like, it's almost, what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like you have like a health halo type effect. Like you feel like, I'm eating healthy food, so I just should look like I eat salads, So
no, I think people. It's almost. This is going to be a strong word, but you almost get like a little bit like entitlement from like, I ate so healthy this week.
I deserve, like shouldn't like it works that way kind of.
And that it's like a clean exchange, like, I had a bunch of salads, that means I can eat pizza this weekend, and and it'll cancel it out.
Yep.
But that shit doesn't work that way at all.
I know.
It's just not the reality of it.
Yeah. Especially if you're like a normal sized person,
Yeah.
If you're like a 240-pound, 6'4" Viking, like you're gonna.
Then
eat
like you can probably crush a pizza and be all right.
Yeah.
But you're just a giant human. If you're a 120-pound chick, sorry, like you just can't crush a whole pizza and have it, cancel or have your salads cancel that out. Just nah.
Yep. So really, especially if your goal is like to lose fat, change your body composition, like, there's so much out there you can look at, but just remember food intake and finding that balance, and what it takes is ultimately like where you'll get the most bang for your buck focusing on that, and you're not going to get it right away. It takes time. So, just be patient and work towards that,
Yep.
And then the last thing I would add to this real quick, just because we just saw it yesterday, is like, don't trust food marketing, right? Like, you know how Halo's real popular, and like each pint's like 300 calories, right? Which is true, and it's great. Like if you're used to eating 1,000-calorie pint of Ben & Jerry's a week, and you change to a Halo, now obviously it's not going to taste as good, but that's still like, you're saving 700 calories. But dude, we just saw. Did you see Ben & Jerry's came out with like their kind of, I guess, answer to Halo?
I didn't see this. I don't follow Ben & Jerry's quite like you do.
You're gonna get weak. So I mean, they look good, but like this. So this is strictly because of the food, just the food labeling, how they'll try to trick people. So on their little light ice cream now, Ben & Jerry's, it shows on the label 160 calories, right? And then in the little small print, per serving.
Yeah. How many servings is it?
4,
is it
right?
4 servings? Yeah.
So really, it's still 700 calorie pint, So whereas a Ben & Jerry's is normally 1,000, it is lighter, but it's it's actually a normal ice cream amount now. But still, it's not comparable to like a Halo, which is only like 250 to 300.
Yeah.
That's
so
it's
sneaky,
just,
bro.
That's
what we're up against, though. Like it plays with your emotions, man.
It's that tomfoolery.
It is, man. Like that's why you got to be real careful when we could do. You know what? I got another episode we're gonna do is because it'll just allow me to rant and just like, I don't know, probably like lower my blood pressure a little bit. But like, dude, food marketing.
Oh.
And all of their like dirty little tricks and all the stuff
like
that.
Gluten free, and it's on steak.
Oh my god.
Steak.
Yeah, exactly. Like. It just like blows my, or it's like gluten free and it still has like 50 grams of sugar in it. Like, why does that even like? It's still like a piece of shit product. But anyways, so I could rant about that for a while. So maybe we can do an episode on that, and then just things to look out for. Like that's a dirty trick, man. You think like 160 calories, and then they got that fine print that you need a magnifying glass for that says per serving, and then you find out how many servings are in there. So. They try to get you with that stuff, man. All they care about is selling it to you. They don't care about you or your well-being or anything like that or how much weight you're trying to lose. They just want to sell you some ice cream.
Well, there it is. The number one reason, the number one factor when it comes to fat loss.
Boom.
Food intake.
Just eat less.
Eat less.
Well, eat less than
Yep.
maintenance.
Eat less, but eat enough.
That's how you put it.
Which I know is like the most unspecific answer that no one wants to hear, but
it's not sexy, but it's true.
All right.
Yeah. Next episode. I think I said last time that we had our next episode would be an interview, and this was impromptu, I guess. But next episode, we have really dope lady that's coming on.
Yeah,
Who
should be able to
crushed it.
actually food intake will be a big part of the conversation.
Ooh,
so
it's gonna be good. And
you'll
then
see how that worked out for her.
after that, we got another one who might be a little bit of the opposite.
Yeah, too big.
But that's gonna be a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Too big of a deficit. So those would be two fun stories to dig into. And then next week, Benji will finally be back on. Yeah, we haven't had him in a couple episodes, man. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like
He's just figuring out movement. Like I picture him like with a chalkboard at home, just like frantically writing away. Like
do you see it like A Beautiful Mind? You know,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
like he's just like sees all the equations on the walls and stuff.
Or what is that the movie where there's like a GIF for like where there's like all these formulas? Like no, it's Zach Galifianakis. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. That was Rain Man, right? Was that Rain Man?
It might have been, or there might have been a spoof of something with Zach.
But
Galifianakis.
it was The Hangover. Yeah. When he's in the casino.
And all the numbers are going. Now people use it as a GIF. Yeah.
I think that is Ben's brain.
Like that's Ben's mind when you're like, man, my knee hurts, Ben, and then all of a sudden,
it just starts going crazy. It's like something I like Da Vinci's Laboratory, you know, where there's just drawings of people all over the walls. That's Ben's brain.
All right. Well, let us know what you thought of today's episode. If it makes you angry, if it makes you happy, if you have questions, if you need answers, if you want solutions, hit us up.
You can direct all hate mail to Will.
We got that new email. Let's go to Diego.
At
coastalfitnessva.com.
There you go. That's where you direct all your hate mail. Diego at coastalfitnessva.com. He takes very, very well, or very good criticism, and he's good with feedback. So, if you have anything hateful to say, holler at him.
All right. Peace out.
Later.